An-Nisa 82. Do they not then reflect on the Quran? Had it been revealed from anyone other than Allah, they would have certainly found in it many inconsistencies. In our last video, we discussed the Islamic dilemma. We looked at verses in the Quran which openly declare that it is the Bible that stands in judgment over the Quran. In fact, the Prophet Muhammad was told by Allah, if you are in doubt concerning what we have revealed to you, then ask those who have been reading the book, that is, the Bible, before you. It is the truth that has come down to you from your Lord, so never become one of those who doubt. If Allah openly declares the book, the Bible, as being the truth, then why would the Quran contradict itself by saying, so believe in Allah and His messengers and do not say Trinity? Stop, for your own good. Allah is only one God. Glory be to Him. He is far above having a son. This in itself is the Quran's greatest inconsistency. No one can refer to the Bible as being the truth, then turn around and say there is no Trinity. Therefore, according to the words of An-Nisa 82, the Quran is certainly filled with inconsistencies, which means that it had to have been revealed to Muhammad by somebody other than Allah. And if that's the case, we have to ask who? Who really revealed the Quran to Muhammad? The only way to answer these questions is to thoroughly examine the way in which Muhammad received his revelations. Many of our Muslim friends believe that Muhammad received his revelations word for word directly from Allah Himself. It is Allah Himself then who is the author of the Quran. And this makes Muhammad His messenger, who was relaying the words of Allah to us. This is why Muhammad is called Rasulullah, meaning messenger of Allah. But how did Muhammad's prophethood really begin? Sahih 6982. He, Muhammad, used to go in seclusion, the cave of Hira, where he used to worship Allah alone continuously for many days and nights. He used to take with him the journey food for that stay and then come back to his wife Khadija to take his food likewise again for another period to stay, till suddenly the truth descended upon him while he was in the cave of Hira. Muhammad used to go on multiple day journeys to Hira, where he would stay in a cave, hoping that a divine revelation would come to him in his sleep. He did this several times until one day, the angel Jibril or Gabriel came to him in it, the cave, and asked him to read. The Prophet replied, I do not know how to read. The Prophet added, the angel caught me forcefully and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it any more. He then released me and again asked me to read, and I replied, I do not know how to read. Whereupon he caught me again and pressed me a second time till I could not bear it any more. He then released me and asked me to read, but again I replied, I do not know how to read, or what shall I read? Thereupon he caught me for the third time and pressed me and then released me and said, read in the name of your Lord, who has created all that exists. It was supposedly the angel Gabriel who would come and visit Muhammad and slowly reveal the Quran to him over the course of about 23 years. Now, there is much debate on what Muhammad meant when he said, the angel caught me forcefully and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it anymore. Some say this implies the angel Gabriel squeezed Muhammad with an overwhelming embrace, much like a very tight hug. Others will argue that this actually means the angel Gabriel violently strangled Muhammad. But I want to turn our focus to something more significant. The angel Gabriel appears several times in both the Bible and the Quran. So, let's compare this forceful encounter that Muhammad supposedly had with Gabriel to the times the prophets of the Bible encountered Gabriel themselves. The prophet Daniel encountered the angel Gabriel. In Daniel chapter 8, we are told that Daniel was so afraid when Gabriel appeared to him that he passed out and fell on his face. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid and fell on my face. But he said to me, "Understand, Son of Man, that the vision refers to the time of the end." Now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep with my face to the ground. But he touched me and stood me upright. In the Bible, the angel Gabriel gives Daniel a gentle touch. But in the Quran, Gabriel supposedly meets Muhammad with a forceful embrace. The angel Gabriel also appeared to Zacharias, the father of John the Baptist. And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him. But the angel Gabriel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zacharias, for your prayer is heard, and your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you will call his name John." The angel Gabriel reassured Zacharias by telling him to not be afraid. He did the same thing with Mary. Now in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth. And having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice, highly favored one, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women." But when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and considered what manner of greeting this was. Then the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God." Throughout the Old and New Testament, the angel Gabriel is a calming, reassuring spirit of God, known for his gentle touch and his uplifting words, "Do not be afraid." But in Muhammad's story, this supposed angel is borderline violent, and when speaking to Muhammad, all he can do is yell, "Aqra," meaning recite. This just doesn't fit the description of Gabriel at all. And above all, why would the angel Gabriel tell Mary that she will give birth to Jesus, who is the Son of God, but later say to Muhammad that the Christians will be condemned for calling Jesus the Son of God? At this point, we can conclude that the angel Gabriel was certainly not the one communicating with Muhammad. So who was? To find the answer, we need to look no further than Muhammad's own testimony. Then Allah's messenger returned with the inspiration, his neck muscles twitching with terror till he entered upon Khadijah and said, "Cover me, cover me." They covered him till his fear was over, and then he said, "O Khadijah, what is wrong with me?" Then he told her everything that had happened and said, "I fear something may have happened to me." Muhammad returned home absolutely horrified by what he had experienced and was convinced that something had happened to him. Now, in fairness, the prophet Daniel was also troubled when the angel Gabriel spoke to him. But here's the difference between a true prophet like Daniel and a false prophet like Muhammad. Khadijah then accompanied him to her cousin Waraqa. Waraqa was the son of her paternal uncle, i.e. her father's brother. Khadijah said to him, "O my cousin, listen to the story of your nephew." Waraqa asked, "O my nephew, what have you seen?" The Prophet described whatever he had seen. Waraqa said, "This is the same Namus, Gabriel, the angel who keeps the secrets, whom Allah had sent to Moses." Muhammad's wife takes him to see one of his uncle-in-laws. Muhammad told his uncle about his experiences, and Waraqa claimed that Muhammad had been interacting with the same angel Gabriel who had spoken to Moses. This truly shows us just how much Muhammad's family knew about God, considering the fact that there is no record in the Torah of the angel Gabriel ever speaking to Moses. But that's okay, because after a few days, Waraqa died, and the divine inspiration was also paused for a while, and the Prophet became so sad, as we have heard, that he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of high mountains. And every time he went up to the top of a mountain in order to throw himself down, Gabriel would appear before him and say, "O Muhammad, you are indeed Allah's messenger in truth," whereupon his heart would become quiet and he would calm down and would return home. You see, unlike Muhammad, the prophet Daniel didn't try to kill himself. Daniel's prophethood began at about the age of 15, when he and the rest of Judah were carried away to exile in Babylon. It finally ended when he died peacefully at about the age of 80 during the first year of King Cyrus. That's about 65 years of being a prophet. On the other hand, Muhammad's prophethood only lasted about 23 years, during which he made several attempts to end his own life because of the unrelenting spiritual torment that he suffered from. Woe is me, poet or possessed. Never shall the Quraysh say this of me. I will go to the top of the mountain and throw myself down, that I may kill myself and gain rest. In his own mind, Muhammad was either poet or possessed, neither of which he could live with. Until next time, salam.